Have your adult kids moved back home? If so, you are not alone, and I mean that literally. A new report shows a record 25.2 million people ages 18 to 35 lived home last year. That's even higher than during the pandemic. So what's behind it, and how can parents and young adults live together in harmony? To help us figure it out, we are joined by CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger and Dr. Gail Saltz, a psychiatrist at NewYork-Presbyterian and Weill-Cornell Medicine. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so Jill, I'll start with you. Why are we seeing this increase in young people moving back in with their parents?
Well, it is so expensive out there for these young adults. And, you know, obviously we've talked about home prices, but rents, everything else, utilities, groceries, and a lot of these kids are saddled with school loans. And so they are moving back home, not because they're bust outs, because it's really hard to manage this. You know, in this study, we found that 7 in 10 of these kids actually have jobs. They're not couch surfing. So this is so interesting to me. Like, I have a job. It's still expensive. I think this is a really smart financial decision, not to be going into debt, not to kill yourself to do this. Like, save some money at home, chill out, get on your way.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting when I was thinking about this, because I thought, is this really a bad thing? I don't think it is. I grew up in a multi-generational home. And for me, it was about community. It taught family. It taught village. You know, grandmother lived with us, aunt lived with us, all of that. And it probably was economic as well. So, you know, I wonder, Dr. Gayle, is this something that actually could be a good thing? It just even emotionally for people and families?
What we're really all circling around is the task is that your kid launches, right? They psychologically, and they become a functional, independent, successful, productive member of society. That task can be done outside, moving into their own place. I think actually that's kind of ideal. But if it's not affordable, it can be done within the home, but only if you set the ground rules right.
But how do you gain independence if you're still living at home?
Okay, you have to treat it like an adult-adult relationship if you move back in, not like an adult-child relationship. That is the key task. So you're treating each other as adults. How do you do that? Start by setting the house ground rules. That's who's going to do the chores, who's going to tend to meals, what are the rules about pets, about guests, about substance use.
How are you going to contribute financially?
How are you going to contribute? Because the task at hand is to create a set of rules where your kid is being treated like a functioning, high-functioning adult. And this is what's going to help you cohabitate, which is also important to remember for the parent, that support does not equal control. And you don't want it to, because you want them to make those independent decisions about their job and their friends and all their things, so that they are becoming that launched, functional adult.
Gotcha.
So we were talking about this earlier, Jill, and I said to Nate that, you know, he asked me what would I want for my daughter when she is of the age to leave the house, which is after college, hopefully. And I said I would want her to be out of the house.
Sure.
And if it required a little bit of financial support, that would be okay. But I'm not paying for her to live in the West Village, like in this one-bedroom apartment, the way you see some young people living today. If I have a plan in place, a financial plan, Jill, I'm not incorporating that level of money for a kid to live.
I think there's a couple of things. I mean, first of all, just dovetailing on what Gail just said, I think it is important to have financial ground rules also. Hey, we're targeting you're going to move out by this date. Here's what you're going to contribute in rent, utilities. And here's what we think is necessary for you to get a little fund set aside so you can move out. We would be willing to contribute this much to help you get there. However, that might be predicated on some rules, like you do have to make these payments, you do have to do this. And I think that the boundaries have to be set. Now, look, I am asked all the time on the podcast, like, is it okay for me to take money from my parents? And I feel weird about it. I think if you have real conversations, it's great. And the parents have to do it in a way that they're not going to harm their own financial security. I mean, what's the worst thing is you help your kid out now, and then later in life, you're like, uh-oh, I need my kid to take care of me. So conversations, boundaries, and trying to set hard dates that you can live by.
Real quick, Dr. Saltz, what are some of the mistakes that you see families make?
They don't talk about resentments when they start popping up instantly. Ooh. Talk about that right away, because what happens is people become passive aggressive, they start the silent treatment, they have explosions, and that erodes your relationship. The other mistake is they don't incorporate fun times. If you're living together, yeah, you need the rules, yeah, you need to talk out problems early and often, but you need to have fun together to grow the relationship, to keep it and develop it into this really healthy adult relationship where you're not only capable of cohabitating, but hey, you're parents and kids, right? That's a lifelong relationship. So plan fun things together too.
Doc, you're good.
Good advice.
She's all right, right?
Yes.
Some individual therapy sessions with you.
We're going to have a family therapy session right here next time.
Jill, Dr. Gail Saltz, thank you very much. Such great advice. We appreciate it.